So it was a Memorial Day weekend, and being ex-military, I don't want to say like Memorial weekend means more to me. I think it means the same to me as it does everybody else. But I was thinking, man, I've been really starting to share some military stories in my act more than I have in the past. And sometimes I kick myself like, why haven't I been doing more military jokes all this time in my stand-up? Because I do got a lot of stories, a lot. And I ran into a guy I was in an honor guard with. I was in a presidential honor guard for a couple years. Like we were the guys that did the funerals at Arlington, spun the rifles, did funerals and things like that. So it's funny how it worked when I was in boot camp was when I went into boot camp, I was supposed to be like a yeoman, which is a secretary. And the reason I picked that rate is because when the recruiter said, "What do you want to do?" I said, "I want to be in air conditioning." That's literally what I said when I got in the military. I was like, where can I be inside? I don't deal well with the heat, and I don't like sweating like that. Because I'm thinking the Navy, the glamour of it is you're on the water, the ocean breeze is hitting you. You're I don't know what it is. Like you pull into port, and everybody's waiting on you, waving. You're eating good. Your muscles are flexing as you're pulling the anchor in from the ship. That's not what it's like. Let me tell you. So I had a pretty good recruiter that was honest with me. So he was telling me, like, I said, who's the ones that be painting on the ship? He goes, boatswain's mates, BM. I was like, I don't want to do that. And I go, I'm not mechanically inclined, so I don't want to be near anything mechanical or any engines. So he was like, all right, what do you like? I was like, I love air conditioning. And he goes, can you type? I go, nope. He was like, well, you want to be a yeoman, and they're going to send you to yeoman school, and you're going to learn how to type. And I remember I was telling my mom, I was like, yeah, I'm going to be an admiral's assistant. That's what I signed up for when I went in the Navy. I'm going to be an admiral, so where the admiral's at, that's where I'm going to be. I made my job sound like it was just like, boom. I was going to be the guy next to the guy. I didn't tell her I'm a secretary. And so that's what I was supposed to do. But then when I was in boot camp, they said everybody over 6'2" with a 34-inch waist come down to the field house. And that was exactly how big I was back then. I was exactly 6 foot, and I grew. When I got to boot camp, I was like 5'11", 6 foot, and I literally like hit puberty in the middle of boot camp. Like my growth spurt happened, but I was only 17. So I hit this growth spurt because I remember my dungarees, we had to get them resized 3 different times when I was in boot camp. Over 8 weeks, I got resized 3 times because my pants just became high waters and they weren't fitting anymore. I just hit it. I think it was because I was finally, one is my age, but I was finally sleeping. I was on a schedule because I wasn't on a solid schedule in the trailer park. Let's be honest. I wasn't getting good sleep. I wasn't living healthy. So it was the first time in my life I was like, all right, I'm going to bed at this time. I'm waking up at this time. I'm exercising. I'm eating better than I ever was. So I just grew, and then, so I was 6'2". By the time they said come down to the field house, I go down there. They showed us this video of the honor guard, and it was you felt like you was just a man because you're at the White House. They showed them spinning the rifles. They showed us folding the flag at the funerals. It was very honorable and prestigious. And so I signed up. Didn't know that when I signed up and said I want to do this, they told you whatever your rate is gone. Everybody shows up in the honor guard is the same. And then you're going to get re-rated or go to it. You're going to figure out what you're going to do. If you can make it 2 years in the honor guard, we had a choice of you got to go with whatever job you wanted that you qualified for because you got to take tests to find out. The nuke people were like our Ivy League guys, the nuclear program. I didn't qualify for that. I wasn't that smart. But I pretty much qualified for everything else. And whatever you qualify for, they guarantee you're going to get into that A school, and then, or you can like have your choice of duty station. If you didn't want to pick your rate and you just want to go in as basically a grunt, not your exact duty station, but you'd like to go to the West Coast. They'll station you somewhere in San Diego. If you want to stay on the East Coast, they'll station you somewhere in Virginia. Things like that. If you want to go overseas, they'll figure that out. You want to get on a ship, they'll figure that out. But that was like our little carrot if you went to honor guard. At least that's what I was told at the field house. So I was like, all right, yeah, I'm going to do that. So I sign up. I graduate boot camp. I didn't know that. I think out of my company, like 30 guys tried to sign up, and 4 of us made it out of my company. There was a guy named Linville, a guy named Peaks, and it was a redneck dude out of North Carolina. I can't remember. So what happened was I didn't know that every company, though, anybody that wanted to sign up, I guess the Navy would send every like 6 months, they send the representatives down to get a new batch of guys. So when I graduated boot camp, I was stuck in Orlando for another like 2 months because they got to wait till they get like 40 or 50 people that qualify, and then we all show up in D.C. at the same time. So when everyone else graduated boot camp, you get 2 weeks off of vacation, leave, and then you go to your duty station or your A school. Well, I was just stuck in Orlando, and so they had us doing odd jobs all the time. We were like, I don't know, we were just painters, picking up garbage, helping around the base. So I took advantage of it. I think I got a cap on my tooth. I got ingrown toenails taken out. Like, I was in my bed in the bunk most of the time. I was just getting everything I needed done. Shoot, I was already circumcised, but if I wasn't, I would have got circumcised those 2 months I was waiting. So then when they get these 40, 50 guys together, and girls, I should say, and girls, then you go home for 2 weeks, and then you all report together the same day in D.C. And so some guys was waiting 3 months, some guys was waiting 2 weeks to go in. But that's just how it worked out. I was like, I want to say 2 months. It's probably more. Let me see, September, October. So, yeah. Because I think I graduated early September, and I got to D.C. like late October. So it was probably 6, 7 weeks. 2 months, probably a month and a half. So I just remember when I land, I get there, I don't know anybody, and so I just remember I walked on. I landed in D.C. on Sunday. I caught a cab to the base. You get to the base, they send you upstairs. The honor guard, they call it training platoon. Everybody's basically in the attic of our hall. It's called Independence Hall, was our barracks, the honor guard barracks. And you're basically up there with the 40, 50 people you came in with, and you guys just, you can't associate with anybody on the guard yet, not till you graduate. And you just got to basically, you got to figure it, it's just that, those are your 40 or 50 friends for the next 2 months. So you're in training platoon for 2 months, and that's where you're learning how to march. We didn't really spin the rifles. That was drill team. We did some stuff with the rifles, some cool shit. But when you see the drill team, the ones spinning it and catching it and shit like that, that's a specific thing. Just like if you carry the caskets at the funerals, you're a body bearer. You're just in the color guard if you're just carrying the flags. And everybody had a body type. Body bearers were the bulky guys. And then drill team was all over the place. And then the flag bearers, they were long and skinny. So like I said, you had to be at least 6'2". You could be taller, but everybody had a 34-inch waist. So the body bearers were like, they're built like football players. And then it's funny, like the color guard, the flags, they were built like basketball players. And then the drill team was all over the place. And I just remember so I get there, and I've told this story before. My first day, I walked around the base. I got there early in the morning. I think I went to Burger King. And I just remember I had such a feeling of independence because I was able to go to Burger King, buy my food, and I didn't have to answer anybody. I didn't have to ask my mom or my stepdad or my real dad, can I get this? I was able to just buy what I wanted. I was like, I just remember even at that age, I felt like, oh my God, quote unquote, I made it. I made it out. I'm able to buy my own food now. I can go buy a pair of shoes. I didn't have a lot of money, but I didn't have no overhead either. I was living for free. I could eat for free on the base if I wanted to, but I just remember all that. Remember that freaking Whopper tasted so good? It was different. I felt like I don't know. I'll never forget that though. It's such a small point in my life, but looking back on it, it was such a big day in my life.